Welcome back to CIA Declassified. The stage is set in the silent corridors of the late 20th century, where the agency faced a terrifying reality. Their most deep cover operatives, the illegals, were living in foreign lands with no diplomatic immunity and no safety net. If a single neighbor grew suspicious or a local police officer checked a birth certificate that didn't exist, the entire mission would collapse. To protect these human ghosts, the agency needed more than just a fake name. They needed a multi-layered, reinforced fortress of administrative and digital evidence that could withstand the scrutiny of hostile intelligence services. They needed to ensure that even if one thread of a cover story was pulled, the rest of the tapestry wouldn't unravel. They needed to lock the agent away in a secondary reality. This was AELATCH. How did this high-stakes security protocol get its name? The cryptonym AELATCH follows the agency's standard naming convention where the AE prefix traditionally designates operations or assets related to the Soviet Union or Eastern European targets. Records from the Directorate of Operations suggest the suffix latch was chosen to describe the locking mechanism of the security protocol. Just as a physical latch keeps a door from swinging open under pressure, AE-latch was the mechanism that prevented an agent's true identity from swinging open if they were interrogated or investigated. It was the latch on the secret door of their soul. AE-latch was the agency's ultimate insurance policy for its most vulnerable ghost. Established as a comprehensive security framework, AE-latch focused on the operational security and identity validation of long-term deep cover assets. A quote from a declassified 1982 internal training manual. The integrity of the illegal is dependent not upon the strength of the lie, but upon the density of the surrounding truth. End quote. The AE-latch protocol required the creation of legend backing, where fake histories were inserted into foreign databases, such as school records and birth registries, years before an agent ever arrived. A quote from the Office of Cover and Deception. A successful AE-latch implementation ensures that an investigator finds exactly what they expect to find, even if they look where they shouldn't. End quote. The protocol utilized dead drop synchronicity, where agents communicated through physical locations at times precisely calculated to blend in with local foot traffic patterns. Logs describe double padding, a technique where an agent was given a secondary soft secret to confess under light pressure to protect the hard secret of their agency affiliation. AE-latch investigators conducted stress validation tests where agents were followed or harassed by agency-hired unknowns to see if they would break cover in public. Records indicate the use of natural cover enhancements, such as marrying another agent to create a nuclear family profile that is harder for counterintelligence to suspect. The agency utilized ghost residency, maintaining empty apartments in multiple cities with active utility bills to provide a paper trail for the agent's fabricated past. AE-latch documentation reveals the use of backdated correspondence, where letters and postcards were mailed through third-party countries to populate an agent's home with credible personal history. One branch of the protocol focused on financial sanitization, ensuring that an operative's income appeared to come from legitimate local business ventures. The program established emergency exfiltration triggers, specific phrases or signals that, when used, would immediately activate a multinational rescue team. The agency collaborated with identity brokers in neutral countries to purchase the identities of deceased infants, a practice known as the Day of the Jackal method. Logs confirm the AELATCH researchers analyzed micro-expressions and linguistic drift to ensure agents didn't use American idioms in their foreign speech. The project developed self-destruct documentation where passports and ID cards would visibly degrade if exposed to specific chemicals used by border customs. Records show that AELATCH maintained black support networks in hostile cities, local civilians who didn't know they were helping the CIA but were paid to provide small services. The protocol identified that social isolation was the biggest risk to an illegal. Therefore, agents were ordered to join local clubs and religious organizations to build social capital. Documentation reveals the agency used one-time pad encryption hidden in everyday objects like pocket watches or miniature books. The program established that cover fatigue was a psychological condition that required agents to be rotated to safe zones for debriefing every few years. One declassified memo discusses the biological latch, where agents were given minor, non-lethal medical conditions that required specific local treatments to further anchor them in the community. Technical logs confirm that burst transmitters were camouflaged as pieces of charcoal or rocks to allow agents to send data without being caught by radio direction finding. The program proved that the most effective latch was a life so boring and mundane that no counterintelligence officer would ever bother to investigate it. AELATCH used a travel stain where an agent's passport would be artificially aged and stamped with fake entry/exit marks to show a history of international movement. The project utilized digital breadcrumbing, where fake social media and professional profiles were managed by agency bots to simulate a modern online presence. Records prove that the agency maintained front companies in the shipping and import-export sectors to provide illegal agents with plausible reasons for frequent travel. AELATCH researchers analyzed cultural sync rates, determining how long it takes for a foreigner to stop standing out in a specific urban environment. Technical manuals detail the use of encapsulated microfilm hidden in tooth fillings, providing agents with a portable library of codes that could not be found by standard body searches. The agency established deep sleep protocols where an operative would cease all contact with headquarters for up to 5 years to wash their tail. A quote from a declassified 1989 operational audit. The success of the AELATCH framework lies in its ability to survive the death of the agent's original persona. End quote. Logs show that the protocol utilized cross-border verification where a second agent in a different country would vouch for the target agent's cover story during a background check. The program included behavioral mirroring, teaching agents to adopt the minor physical tics and local slang of the specific neighborhood they were assigned to inhabit. Records confirm the use of host country taxes, where the agency would actually pay local income taxes for the fake persona to ensure no red flags were raised with domestic revenue services. AELATCH blueprints describe the safe house within a house, where a hidden compartment was built into an agent's permanent residence for emergency hardware storage. The agency utilized acoustic couplers to transmit data over payphones using sounds that mimicked standard line noises to the untrained ear. When we look at the declassified AELATCH manifest, some of the heavier redactions are found in documents with titles like active asset location and legacy integration, as well as generational continuity. Why is the agency hiding the details of how deep cover identities are passed down or maintained over decades? There is significant chatter in the intelligence circles regarding the real-world ghost stories case of 2010. Speculation regarding the legacy integration redactions suggests the agency adopted the KGB tactic of sleeper couples, raising children who are entirely unaware their parents are spies. Analysts suggest the blackout covers the fact that American AELATCH agents are currently raising a second generation of born-in cover operatives who exist in no official U.S. database. A popular theory circulating is that data privacy forums suggest the agency has poisoned the well of commercial DNA databases like 23andMe and Ancestry.com. They argue the redacted identity validation files prove that AELATCH uses shadowkin, fabricated genetic profiles inserted into these databases so that if a deep cover agent's DNA is ever uploaded, it matches a fake family tree already established in the system. In the hushed corners of 2026 whistleblower boards, people discuss the double identity theory. They suggest the heaviest redactions cover the use of identities of convenience, stealing the social security numbers and life stories of Americans who died abroad under mysterious circumstances. This rumor posits that AELATCH agents aren't just faking a life, they are wearing the lives of real deceased people whose records the agency has scrubbed. Gossip among cybersecurity experts points to synthetic identity theft as an AELATCH evolution. The theory is that the agency uses AI to generate thousands of credit-active ghosts, people with high credit scores and perfect job histories who don't actually exist, to act as the financial latch for deep cover operatives. Speculation persists that AELATCH protocol is secretly used to hide high-value defectors. Some believe the redacted exfiltration triggers show that the agency latches foreign scientists or political dissidents into ordinary American suburban lives, giving them the same impenetrable shadow shield used by active duty spies. Whispers argue that dead internet theory is partially fueled by AELATCH. Conspiracy theorists suggest the agency manages millions of bot accounts that interact with illegal agents online, providing them with social proof, likes, comments, and tags from friends to make their fabricated digital lives look indistinguishable from reality. A prevalent rumor among truthers is that the dormancy activation logs describe agents who are deep sleepers. They claim these AELATCH assets are told to live 40 years of a normal life, reaching high-level positions in infrastructure or government, only to be activated for a single critical mission at the end of their careers. Rumor says the black bars cover a biometric ghosting technology. They posit that AELATCH agents use specialized contact lenses or temporary silicone fingertips that mimic the biometric data of their latched identity, allowing them to pass through facial and fingerprint scanners with ease. Fringe gossip suggests the redacted financial sanitization files prove the agency uses AELATCH to fund black ops through laundered cryptocurrency. They argue that thousands of latched fake identities are used to tumble coins through the blockchain until the trail is as invisible as the agents themselves. Some suspect the redactions hide an algorithm bypass. They believe AELATCH agents are taught to move through smart cities in ways that exploit the blind spots of predictive policing AI, ensuring their movements are never flagged as suspicious by urban monitoring systems. Lastly, some whispers suggest the redactions are so heavy because they prove the agency uses gaslighting at scale. They argue AELATCH involves hacking local news archives and small town records to insert the agent's history into the past, making the community believe the illegal has lived there for decades. Was AELATCH a success? Tactically, it was a phantasmal success. The agency successfully created a system where the illegal was no longer a person, but a self-sustaining ecosystem of data and social proof. Strategically, it was a masterstroke of denial. It proved that the agency could maintain deep cover assets for over 30 years without a single leak. The project was a success because it fundamentally solved the human error problem in espionage by surrounding the human with an unbreakable latch of secondary evidence. It allowed the agency to create human assets that were effectively invisible to even the most paranoid counterintelligence agencies. By decoupling an agent's physical presence from their documented history, the agency mastered the art of synthetic life in the field. This success ensured that the illegal would never be a lone operative, but a ghost supported by an entire phantom infrastructure. It effectively demonstrated that if you control the records, you control reality itself. As far as technological and operational breakthroughs are concerned, the shadow shield led to breakthroughs that we can still see today, such as digital identity verification. The legend backing techniques of AELATCH are now the standard for synthetic identity detection used by banks to prevent fraud. Micro-expression analysis. The agency's work on linguistic drift is used today in AI chatbots to make them sound more human and culturally relevant. Biometric obfuscation. The research into bypassing surveillance led to the development of privacy clothing that uses IR emitters to blind security cameras. And persona management systems. The software used to manage ghost residents is now the basis for anonymous browsing networks and virtual private servers. AELATCH reminds us that the person sitting next to you on the train might have a history that was written in a basement in Virginia. When you look at a profile online, remember the shadow shield. The agency may have closed the physical latch, but the digital one is wider and more complex than ever. You are not just a citizen in the eyes of AELATCH. You are the background noise that helps a ghost stay hidden. Every verified record is a reminder that the truth is often just a lie that hasn't been unlatched yet. Our reality is a patchwork of these secret latches holding together a version of the world that the agency finds convenient. The most successful ghosts are the ones who make us believe they were never there at all. The latch doesn't just keep the agent in, it keeps the truth out forever. In the end, we all live in the shadow of the shield, breathing air that might be part of another project entirely. Thanks for listening, and join us next time as we examine QR gear. In the specialized workshops of the agency, they developed disguise and technical kits provided to assets in the field. We'll uncover the physical transformation manifest and the tactical utility blueprints. Join us next time for the chameleon kit. In the meantime, I'll see you in the archives.